Let's talk about making healthy eating work on a tight budget. I'm not talking about perfect, pristine, expensive superfoods here. I'm talking about real, nourishing food that fills you up, fuels your days, and doesn't break the bank. This haul is all about strategy, versatility, and getting the most bang for your buck. First, the produce section. This is where we start. Forget the pre-washed, pre-cut anything. That's a luxury. I'm grabbing the big bag of onions and the 3-pound sack of potatoes. They're the ultimate budget workhorses. You can roast them, sauté them, add them to soups and stews. They're flavor foundations that cost pennies per serving. Next, carrots and celery. A huge bag of each. Again, the base for so many things. Soups, stir-fries, just chopped and dipped in hummus for a snack. Then, the leafy greens. I'm going for a giant head of green cabbage. It's shockingly cheap, lasts for weeks in the fridge, and you can shred it for slaw, sauté it as a side, or add it to soups for bulk and nutrients. For a quicker green, I'll get a bunch of kale or Swiss chard, more durable and often cheaper than bagged spinach. And bananas. Always bananas. The most affordable fresh fruit, perfect for breakfast with peanut butter, frozen into smoothies, or just eaten plain. Now, the freezer aisle is your secret weapon. I'm loading up on frozen mixed vegetables, peas, carrots, green beans. They're flash frozen at peak freshness, so they're just as nutritious as fresh, often cheaper, and they never go bad. A bag of frozen broccoli florets is another must. Toss it into pasta, rice bowls, or just steam it with a little garlic. Frozen berries, too. Way cheaper than fresh, perfect for oatmeal or smoothies. Let's talk protein, because that's usually the biggest budget hurdle. I'm skipping the fancy cuts. Instead, I'm getting a whole chicken. Roast it for a few meals, then use the carcass to make a huge pot of soup that's broth, meat, and veggies all from one purchase. Eggs are a non-negotiable. A dozen gives you quick protein for any meal. Canned tuna or salmon in water is a pantry staple for salads and sandwiches. And dried beans, black beans, lentils, chickpeas. A bag costs next to nothing and gives you pounds of protein and fiber. Soak them overnight, cook a big batch, and you have a base for bowls, soups, and dips for days. For a grab-and-go option, I might get a large container of plain Greek yogurt. It's versatile for breakfast, as a sour cream substitute, or in sauces. Now, the pantry. This is about building blocks. Oats. A giant canister of old-fashioned oats. Cheaper than any boxed cereal, and you can make oatmeal, overnight oats, or even use them in baking. Brown rice and a big bag of lentils. These are the ultimate cheap, filling, healthy carbs and proteins. Pasta, get the whole wheat if it's on sale, but plain pasta is fine. It's a vehicle for all those veggies and beans. Canned tomatoes, either diced or crushed. The base for so many sauces, soups, and chilies. I'll also grab a jar of tomato sauce for quick pasta nights. Peanut butter or another nut butter. Look for the kind with just nuts and maybe salt. It's calorie-dense, full of healthy fats, and goes on everything from apples to oatmeal. A loaf of whole wheat bread if it's affordable, or I'll make my own wraps using large tortillas or even lettuce leaves. For snacks, I'm buying popcorn kernels. A tiny bag of kernels makes a giant bowl of popcorn for way less than the bagged stuff. A big block of cheese, cheddar or mozzarella, shred it yourself. It's cheaper than pre-shredded and tastes better. And I'll get a few oranges or apples for fresh fruit that keeps well. The key here is meal prep and no waste. That cabbage becomes slaw for lunch bowls. The carrots and celery get chopped and stored for snacks and cooking. The chicken is roasted, then the meat is pulled for tacos, salads, and soup. The beans are cooked in a huge batch and portioned out. Every single thing on this list can cross-utilize. That frozen veggie mix goes into scrambled eggs, over rice, or into the chicken soup. The oats are breakfast, the yogurt is a snack with berries and a drizzle of honey. You're not buying single-use ingredients, you're buying components. And don't forget the spices. A small jar of garlic powder, onion powder, chili powder, cumin, And dried oregano, these transform cheap ingredients without adding cost. A squeeze of lemon or lime, a splash of vinegar, these are flavor game changers. This isn't about deprivation. It's about being smart. You are choosing ingredients that are nutrient-dense, shelf-stable, and incredibly flexible. You're cooking from scratch, which is always cheaper than packaged, processed foods. You're avoiding the middleman of convenience. Yes, it takes a little more time chopping those veggies, cooking that batch of beans, but the payoff is huge. Your money goes further, your body feels better, and you build a real skill. You're not just buying food, you're building a system. A system where a head of cabbage, a bag of oats, a can of beans, and a few spices become 10 different meals. That's the power of a budget grocery haul. It's not about eating the same boring thing every day. It's about having a versatile toolkit. Tonight it's bean and veggie chili over rice. Tomorrow it's shredded chicken tacos with cabbage slaw. Breakfast is oatmeal with banana. Lunch is a huge salad with hard-boiled eggs and whatever roasted veggies are left. You feel satisfied, you have energy, and you stayed well under budget. That's the win. So next time you're at the store, walk past the expensive, pre-made stuff. Head to the produce bins, the freezer aisle, the dry goods shelves. Think in terms of components, not just meals. Think about what will last, what can be transformed, and what gives you the most nutrition for your dollar. Healthy eating on a small budget isn't a compromise. It's a smarter way to shop, cook, and nourish yourself. It's absolutely possible, and it starts with a simple, strategic haul like this one.